Sitting there with your head down, a dark silhouette, getting drenched in the middle of a springtime downpour. I watched you from beneath the awning of the marina's snack bar, curious about this lone figure bobbing along the choppy waters in the storm. Admittedly, I didn't even know you were female at first. The distance between us, confused by the rain, made you look like an indistinguishable, immovable lump, sorry to say. I started to formulate a story about you, and how you ended up floating out there in the rain on that boat, that maybe you were contemplating suicide after suffering a broken heart, or maybe you were already dead, a casualty of a jealous lover who had propped your body upright on that boat before casting you out toward the bay. The scenario only grew increasingly more peculiar when three figures emerged from the water around you, slick as seals in their black wetsuits, and climbed into the boat with you. Only then did you move, a slight tilt of your head, perhaps to posit a question or to extend an order. One of the wetsuited fellows engaged the outboard motor and the John boat carved a wide arc around the channel of the creek. When it stopped again, farther away from me, I watched as the wetsuits dropped over the side of the boat and vanished again beneath the turbulent, storm-churned surface of the water. You remained curled there in the rain, a dark semicolon rocking on the waves, your head down as if scrutinizing something life-changing in your lap. The boat ultimately dropped you off at the marina before vanishing into the rainy mist. You had on an army green slicker, your dark and shiny hair pulled back into a soaking wet ponytail. Your face was pale, unblemished, almost boyish. You carried a notebook and a camera in a see-through waterproof bag. I watched you from across the sparse floor of the marina snack bar as you took up a table far from me, ordered a coffee, black, no sugar, and began scribbling furiously in your notebook. For the next 20 minutes, I alternated between reading a Japanese-language edition of a Haruki Murakami novel and watching you. Finally, when I had summoned enough courage to approach, you didn't even look up at me as you said, "We were searching for a dead body." This statement, a lie you would later confess, you were out with divers from the Naval Academy examining oyster beds for an article you were writing for a local newspaper, rendered me speechless. And when you did look up at me, I could see that this had been your intention all along, to render me speechless, to knock me off kilter. And that was when I thought for the first time, who is this girl? So, in that regard, I can hardly blame you for your darkness. I can hardly claim that I was caught unawares by this most recent development. Not completely. I had been forewarned by the first thing you had ever said to me. The first words out of your mouth to a tall, gangly stranger with reading glasses and a chunky, tattered Japanese paperback in his hands. A lie meant as a joke that edged on darkness. Who is this girl? After your death, and after 5 years of what I would consider a pretty goddamn good marriage, I found myself asking that very same question all over again. 3. No one thinks when they first meet a person that there is some cosmic clock counting down the years, months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, seconds, until you will stop knowing each other. It doesn't occur to most people when you meet the person with whom you wish to spend the rest of your life that, at some point, one of you will leave. Sure, everyone knows this on a practical level. Everyone dies. No one lives forever. But no one looks their spouse in the eye on the night of their wedding and actually hears the ticking of that clock. Its sound is buried far beneath the flash and glamour of what we think our futures hold for us. But it's there. Don't be fooled. It ticks for all of us. You, Allison, my wife, died on an unseasonably warm and rather peaceable December morning, all things considered. At the time of your death, I was most likely wrapping your Christmas present, wistfully ignorant that you were hemorrhaging blood onto a scuffed linoleum floor. I was still in bed when you left the house that morning, awake but with my eyes closed against the bright sheet of daylight pressed against the bedroom windows. I ran a hand along your side of the bed as I stirred. The sheets were cold.